is beyond the green and into the water. The second deck. 5-0 Royals in the second inning.
Happy Tuesday night to all of you Royals faithful out there who are still up with me. And can we all say it together? Hey, 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 hey. The Kansas City Royals secured yet another series victory over the Detroit Tigers tonight, winning 10-3 on Bark in the Park night. I do have to say this. It was a good attendance night for Tuesday night, 14,000 plus. It's not every day you have 487 dogs in attendance. Woo woo. There were some dogs in the Royals dugout as well. We'll talk about those guys later on. But before we get down to brass tacks, you would be doing yourself a disservice if you're not following us on social media. Our links are down in the podcast description below. Plus, if you're not already following us, if you're not already subscribed to the podcast, please make sure you hit that button to make sure that you never miss another episode. All right, let's get down to it. Alec Marsh facing off against KZ Mize, and this was two very, very different starts. Mize, on one hand, only lasted 5 outs, 1 2/3 innings, allowing 9 hits and 6 earned runs with that big old Bobby baseball 3-run bomb, and he threw 52 pitches in that span. That is a crazy amount. He exited the game down 6-0. Meanwhile, Alec Marsh had a quality start tonight. 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. But all in all, he went as far as he could, 94 pitches tonight. And when he stepped off the mound, the Kansas City Royals were up 9-3. So the lineup certainly gave him plenty of run support. He is now 4-1 on the season. That's a pretty good record for the number 5 man in your rotation. Yet again, I'm not saying he's the 5th best starter, but I'm just saying he's the 5th man in order right now. Posting a 2.72 ERA. And this is actually his first quality start since April 2nd in Baltimore. So it's been quite a while since we've seen one of these from him. And I feel like often that's usually just down to innings pitched. We'll see some 5 1/3 inning starts from him. And it just doesn't qualify for the quality start. But it's not the end of the world. I do want to point this out. So he has allowed just 3 home runs in 43 innings this year, right? That comes down to 0.63 home runs over 9, right? That is a third of what he was doing last year when he allowed 16 home runs in 74 innings. All right, and all 3 of the home runs have come on the road. He's got 31 consecutive homerless innings at home. Last time he allowed one in Kauffman Stadium was September 2nd of last year. So Alec Marsh is really just exceeding my personal expectations in the back of the rotation. This was a guy who went into spring training and really just grabbed the job, made himself undeniable, is something that I like to say. And he's proving it each and every time that he goes out there, that he is still the guy the Royals need to back up the rotation and turn things over to Cole Reagans. Speaking of turning things over, the guys who came in behind Marsh, they did pretty solid tonight too. Angel Zerpa, he had another scoreless inning. Only pitched 1 inning, the 7th. Came in. No hits, no strikeouts, no walks. That's okay. ERA down to 1.4. Sam Long did make his Royals debut, so congratulations there. Had a scoreless 8th inning himself. 1 strikeout, no hits, no walks. ERA sitting at 0, so hey, that'll play. And then Nick Anderson came in, top of the 9th, 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. It all balances out in the end. All in all, the Royals pitching staff had a pretty damn solid night. 6 hits, those 3 earned runs, 3 walks to 8 strikeouts. I will certainly take that any day of the week from the back end of the rotation. You know, we saw how that went for the Tigers, right? How they had the back end of the rotation and it just imploded, and it had a ripple effect on their bullpen. Each one of the guys who came in relief of Mize allowed at least one earned run and at least 2 hits. Okay, like they weren't shut down. So when we're comparing these two teams together, it would surprise you to see that the combination of Nick Anderson, Sam Long, and Angel Zerpa outperformed the Detroit Tigers tonight. But that is in large part due to just, man, the boys are playing some ball and they are getting it done at the plate, folks. Let's talk about it. Where else do we start but the top? Maikel Garcia, 4 hits tonight, 3 runs scored, no strikeouts. No walks, but damn, 4 hits? Are you kidding me? That is crazy. He had a leadoff triple in the first inning, scored on Bobby's infield single just to really set the tone for this game. He had 2 triples tonight, okay? That matches a franchise record only done 32 times previously. Last time done by Witt Merrifield, of all people, back in 2019. He is just the third Royals third baseman with a multi-triple game. So he's the third baseman with a 3-bagger, or with 2 3-baggers. Is that how you say that? Following Joe Randa, who did it on June 8th, 1999. And then the one and only George Brett, who did it 6 times in his illustrious career. Maikel, we'll hear from him later on in the show for the post-game interview. He matched a career high with 4 hits, and he's just really getting it done in the leadoff spot, batting .359 on his quiet 9-game hitting streak. The only person who outperformed him tonight was the one and only Bobby Witt Jr., the man who bats directly behind Maikel Garcia. Where we start? You want to start off with the bottom of the second, where he hits a 468-foot jack to left center field, putting one in the fountains, scoring 3 runs there. Okay, all right, yeah, we could start there. Or then we could go to the 6th inning, where he hits another one, recording his 4th career multi-home run game, and the first since April 11th. Oh, it's been so long since he's had a multi-home run game, folks. He was just really due for one, I guess. Plated 6 runners. That ties his career high. He had 3 hits altogether, a stolen base, giving him 16 on the season. It's if you weren't a Bobby believer, you certainly were after tonight. Vinny Pasquantino, the stat line doesn't show it, but the guy was. I'm not one for, believing expected stats 1,000%. Right? I don't subscribe to the hard hit stuff, because if you hit it hard into the ground, then it's a ground ball, then it's an out. But I do feel like Vinny got pretty unlucky tonight. I really do. He was making solid contact, just hitting it right at the center fielder and the right fielder. It happens. He still had a hit on the night, so that is all that really matters. Salvador Perez, the captain, he had a multi-hit game as well, plating one of his own. The broadcast had a really good point that does ring true, talking about what is Salvador Perez doing so different right now, because he doesn't. I'm not saying he doesn't look like Salvi that we know, but he's so much better with runners in scoring position. He's got a .343 batting average. Like, that's not what we're used to seeing from Salvador Perez. It's the free swinging. It's swinging at all the sliders down and away. And while we've seen that a few times this season, we've also seen like, hey, this guy can draw walks and he's being more patient. And the broadcast brought up a very, very good point that this is the first time in a few years where Salvador Perez has not had to carry the entire offensive load. Okay, if you think back to some of those darker, well, it's all relative, darker days of Kansas City Royals baseball, it was Salvi and Witt Merrifield. I'm not saying Bobby Witt, but Whit Merrifield, like they were the consistent bats, and then everyone else behind him was not great. But Salvi he's doing good things, and he certainly should be in the MVP conversation alongside Bobby Witt Jr. Maikel Garcia had another hit tonight. So did the illustrious designated hitter, Adam Frazier. MJ Melendez, unfortunately, is the only Royal who did not record a hit. I have a feeling that Jeremy and I are going to be talking about him on tomorrow's episode. Hunter Renfroe, good for him. He homered in the 7th off of Joey Wentz, marking his first homer since May 3rd versus Texas. All right, the snapping a 14-game drought where he went 7 for 44 in between home runs. So hopefully this will spell a little bit of a turnaround at the plate for him. And then Kyle Isbell, quietly in the 9-hole, 2 hits, 1 run scored, 2 strikeouts to go with that, though, unfortunately. It was a solid day from the center fielder, not really known for his bat. When it's all said and done, your Kansas City Royals are sitting at 31-19. All right, tied for the best 50-game start in franchise history. I can't believe it. They've won 6 consecutive home games and are 20-8 in Kauffman Stadium. Just think about those odds whenever you think about buying a ticket to go out there and watch them play, no matter what day of the week it is. You have pretty damn good odds of seeing a Royals victory when you leave that ballpark. According to Elias Sports Bureau, here's another thing. Their 31 wins match Cleveland, who did this in 1988, for the most wins through 50 games following a 100-loss season in Major League history. Gotta go back a long ways there. Hell, it's not even Cleveland Guardians in the history books. It's that other team. This homestand has been amazing. I was thinking about it last night. Like, hey, they clinched another winning homestand. Well, now they're going into Wednesday afternoon with Cole Reagan's taking the mound, and they're looking at another home sweep. Okay? That would be the second of the season if they do it tomorrow. Now they don't have an easy task tomorrow. Tariq Skubal, he's an AL Cy Young guy. Not just, he's probably the AL Cy Young guy. Let's be honest. People should be talking about Seth Lugo more, but Skubal's been really, really good in his own right, and this lineup will have to step up big time heading into Thursday's off day. But before I start rambling on too much, let's go ahead and get to the post-game interviews. Coming up on the other side of the ad break, we will hear from Bobby Witt Jr., and Maikel Garcia, who joined Joel Goldberg on the field following the game. Plus, we will hear from manager Matt Quatraro. Stay tuned.
Let's go down to Joel, who's got the 1-2 punch standing by.
Yeah, this is the 1-2 punch. They were 5 for 5 with 5 runs and 5 RBI after 3 innings. 7 for 9, 7 RBI on the night. Bobby, I want to ask you first about Maikel, the way he can jumpstart an offense and a team right out of the gate with a triple.
Yeah, just setting the tone early, and it's so much fun to play with him and just see what he does. It's a lot of fun.
Maikel, 2 triples tonight. He had 2 homers tonight. What's it like to play and bat in front of him and play defense on the left side with him?
It's amazing play with him every night and enjoy his talent. So he's a great player.
All right, I think you only have 1 coming. I'll let you guys fight over it. I think MJ misses you. He misses your talents. Maikel, I want to ask you about the triples. You are only the third baseman in Royals history to have 2 triples in a game. George Brett did it 6 times, Joe Randa, and now Maikel Garcia. Tell me about hitting 2 triples.
I didn't know I did that, but just trying to borrow the ball and play and enjoy every night with the team.
Bobby says he got the ricochet off of Maikel in his ear. I think they both got a little bit there. Bobby, this is an interesting night with the way the wind was swirling. I think you hit that first one into a crosswind. That is the longest home run of your career, the 3rd longest home run in baseball this year behind Aaron Judge, as well as Mike Trout. Tell me about that home run and the electricity.
Yeah, sometimes you just close your eyes and swing hard and hope you hit it. And so I'm just glad it got wet. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't believe the whole closing your eyes. Last thing for the 2 of you, I'll let you have the last word, but how much fun is this group having, winning over and over again, and a night like tonight with so much offense all across?
We have a great team. We play better this year, and I know we can do better job this year.
Better even than tonight. It keeps on coming. It's been unbelievable. Last word to you.
I'm going to send it to Maikel. He knows what to say.
The boys are playing some ball.
There it is.
I haven't been here as long as a lot of people, but I've already heard that no one has seen a ball go in that spot other than possibly Trout might have hit one in there, but no, I certainly haven't.
How impressive was that? Just obviously the 460 getting it to that spot, and you guys were able to put a big inning together.
To be honest, when they said 468, I would not have surprised me if it would have been 500. Like, it seemed like it was just a golf ball when he hit it. But it was just such a controlled swing, too. The power that he has for the size, and when he gets it going, when he catches balls out front, I mean, it's really impressive. But, yeah, to get a 4 spot there in the 2nd inning, to get into their bullpen early was huge.
Stands out just in those first 3 innings, really, of the plate appearances that your guys all the way up and down the line.
Yeah, I got to go back and look at where some of the locations were, but I mean, he threw some good pitches, like up in the zone, got some swing and miss, and then when we had a chance to put it in play, we did. And like Salvi's hit, that was a tough pitch. To get the second run of the first inning, so just kind of relentless at bats.
And with Bobby, his infield mate, Maikel Garcia, 2 triples thing, or it's what you just seeing out of him at the plate.
Competitiveness, desire to be great. We talked about how he's controlling his emotions, how he's into every at-bat, clearing, one bad at-bat away quickly, one bad pitch or a call that he doesn't agree with, and just getting on to the next pitch.
At the top, you talked about Maikel sitting in the zone, but to have both of them back to back at the top, how do they kind of, you set the tone a lot, but just start off things for you in the lineup?
Yeah, they're dynamic. I mean, speed, power, competitiveness, being able to use the whole field. They can take a walk. They can do all kinds of things. They can run the bases, not just steal bases, but they can run the bases well, too.
And Hunter Renfroe, he had, I believe, a walk in the 3rd inning there, but also kind of got rewarded with the home run late. Just what have you seen from him as he continues to try to put things together? Yeah,
I mean, he's working hard. He's trying to put good at-bats together. He's had a decent number of walks, which is not always his thing, but to compete and lay off some of those tough pitches, especially against a lefty when you're trying to, I know he's trying to do some damage against lefties, and, every good at-bat counts when you add him up, and to go further with him, that play he made in the 3rd inning against Torkelson, that was a great play. I mean, the defensive side of the ball shouldn't go overlooked. And at the same time, we're talking about Maikel, the defensive play he made against Torkelson in the 5th there, I think it was, to get out of that inning. That was a huge spot. Or no, that was the 4th, right? That was a huge spot in the game.
another series win. Is that something that you mark, or is it each day? It's each game its own entity.
I mean, if you're winning series, you're doing a good job. I mean, you're compiling positive things one series after another. So especially in division, I think it's something that you pay attention to.
Anytime we play like that, we're going to win a lot of games. First 3 innings, I don't know how many we scored. I wasn't even trying to pay attention, but then I was sitting there for 20, 30 minutes, and I was like, what's going on out there? But no, anytime like that, it makes my job way easier for sure.
How do you evaluate tonight for you?
Great. I mean, really, one inning got away from me. I think that inning was the most frustrating for me. Overall, first pitch strikes got to be better. Found some good sliders today, which was great. I thought command early in the game was great. 4-seamers in, stuff like that. I thought the fastball's been playing really good, so just continue to work on the command with that. Changeup's been really good. I didn't throw too many for strikes today, but getting back to the bullpen and making those adjustments will be good for next time.
It seemed like the fastball kind of goes up and down, but really a lot of really good life at the end. Is that kind of how you felt?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're sitting that long and we score that many runs, it's hard to get it going again. So my main focus was like, hey, it doesn't matter like how many runs we score. Let's try to go out there and put up a 0. That was the goal every inning. So obviously that 4th inning, frustrating, got away from me a little bit. I make a better pitch there, the curveball to that last guy, and we get out of it. Probably not that many runs. So just a learning lesson.
You mentioned the amount of runs that you guys scored. What do you think of Bobby's home run hit? I
mean, that was probably one of the farthest balls I've ever seen yet. It's unbelievable. The guy's a generational talent. It's amazing to have that guy on our team.
The way that he impacts the game seems like every aspect of the game. How impressive is that when there's on a game where he doesn't impact the team?
Yeah, you think you get used to it being around him every day, and then he does something new that you just haven't seen, and it's like, wow. It's just the wow factor with him is unbelievable. I'm glad he's on our team. I mean, he's our shortstop. Just amazing player. It's amazing to be around and trying to learn from him. And even I'm on the pitching staff. He's on. I'm always learning stuff from him. Even though he's younger than me, it doesn't matter. The way he sees the game is unbelievable.
All right, that is just about going to do it for tonight's Royals recap presented by Royals Review. Let's go ahead and get on over to your Spotify Q&A responses. So if you are listening to us anywhere else outside of Spotify, you are missing out. Over there, you have access to our polls and questions and answers. I will say this, my Anchorman joke from last night, batting 800, so I'll take it. All right, I'm gonna keep doing that shit every now and then. But I read off y'all's question and answer responses just to hear from y'all. So let's go ahead and get into it. Christopher Palmer says the boys are most definitely playing some ball. Michael Massey and Salvi took trips to Dongtown. The stress-free game was almost ruined by Duffy. That is true. Hopefully the Royals make some moves to help the pen. And Christopher, just to answer this a little bit more directly, I think the accepted way forward, unless something drastic happens, is they'll probably keep Duffy until Carlos Hernandez is ready to be reinstated. He's currently on a rehab assignment. That clock is ticking for him. So as long as he's good to go, then I imagine Duffy is designated for assignment in favor of Carlos Hernandez. Ginger620 says, great to see Waka continuing to have good outings again. It can't be understated how important this rotation is for our chances at winning. And Ginger, I'm sure you were watching tonight's game and thinking the same damn thing again. Just seeing how a quality starter for Kansas City this go around is how much it contrasts when the other team starter just is not getting it done. Fistifer 1775 says, we need a closer. I hear Zach Greinke is available. And yes, I did have a piece over on Kings of Kaufman talking about this. He is throwing down in Arizona. Now, I'm not going to start the Zach Greinke for closer train. But I don't know, I'm not completely opposed to him coming back to Kansas City if the situation deems it necessary. And lastly, Nate Hodge says, should we pursue a move at the deadline or sooner to help bolster the bullpen and or outfield? Or should we not make any moves outside of the organization because maybe we're ahead of schedule? Truthfully, Nate, I do think that the Royals should be a little bit more forward-leaning this spring, or, well, I guess we're not quite to summer. It's still May, all right? Y'all give me a break. I do think that they should address the outfield more than the bullpen. They do have some internal options that are good in the bullpen. The outfield is not great internally. Tyler Gentry is struggling at the plate. We know what Drew Waters is at the major league level, so I don't know if he's going to get a good opportunity or a fair shake. And there's a big gap between those guys at AAA, and then you start looking at guys like Carson Roccaforte, Gavin Cross even. So I don't know. I think that if they make a trade, they should do it early, and they should do it to address the outfield. Alrighty, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here and go to bed. Thank you for joining me on tonight's Royals recap. If you want to follow more of my nonsense on social media, my X link is in the podcast description below. And also you can follow Greg, you can follow Jeremy, or you can just follow the podcast. But the best thing you could do is subscribe, follow, rate, review, whatever it is for the platform you're on. Just help out the podcast. It helps us reach more Royals fans out there and keep the good word going. I appreciate everyone who's here right now. I really, really do. Y'all make this possible. I'm going to go get some sleep. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow, and until next time, go Royals!